wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Good morning to you this Thursday. Yes, this terrific Thursday morning. I want to say good morning to you. Standing in this morning for Pearson, who's just a little bit under the weather, but I'll try to help you through the morning and keep it all sunshiny for you this morning. Now, I'm not sure where you're waking up or how you've woken up this morning, but just remember that there's a reason to smile. You got up out of that bed. So forget about any aches and pains, any worries. We're going to have a fantastic morning with some lovely segments coming up. Now, one of the things that happened when we were growing up is that people used to say a lot of things to children. Some you may have believed, some you may not have. And this morning, we want to find out from you what is actually one of the craziest things that you heard or believed in as a little one. I mean, like, for example, I remember that when a family member died, an older lady said to me that because I used to be naughty occasionally, the person would come back and pull my big toe. And that's how I would know that, they disapproved of my naughtiness here and there. But what are some of the crazy things maybe perhaps you heard growing up? You have a chance to tell me this morning when you call in 228-5562, 228-5563. Some might say it's crazy to believe in the tooth fairy, but we still do have little ones who look forward to seeing that $2, that $5 under the pillow once that tooth has gone. There's some who may still even believe in Santa Claus. But what are some of the crazy things that you found happened during your time and that you believed in, may have then, may still now? Because who's to say that it didn't come true? Who's to say that it was crazy for me but not for you? So give us a call this morning. We want to hear where you're calling from and what are some of these crazy things. Because what may have been crazy for someone in, say, Spikestown may not have necessarily been crazy for someone in Messiah Street, St. John, because, we all have those different folklores that are generic to the parish and different things we go through and a whole heap of interactions. So give me a call this morning, 228-5562, 228-5563, or question of the day. What is the craziest thing that you believed as a child? We want to hear from you. Now, also this morning, whilst we're waiting for you to get to those phone lines and tell us all about those crazy things and happenings, we're going to be hearing from an author this morning, some very interesting perspectives. Can't necessarily say they're male perspectives because our author is male, but they're perspectives nonetheless. And he's going to be talking to us about how to keep a man, the 4 pillars of marriage. So we'll get to find out from him what it's all about. He'll be joining us this morning. We'll also be hearing from the BTMI. They will be going into our primary schools and taking tourism there with a special program all about tourism. Then we're also going to be discussing Spikestown. As you know, we're in the month of February. It's time to gather. Good morning to our caller on the line. Good morning to you, and where are you hailing from?
Good morning, peace be unto you and yours, a blessed and a time for Thursday. I'm calling from St. Michael's. As a child, at lunchtime you will have to rest. And there was this lady who, one of our neighbors, she would dress in I don't know if you would call it, for me, it was dangerous. For me, it probably may be crazy and laughter for her. She would dress in a jacket and an old hat and cover her face, with been paper, you just see her eyes. And she would frighten us, and although we running on our parents, she would still be holding us. Sometimes we run onto the cell and she fall up onto the cell, and that was so dangerous for me and the others. But I guess for she it was, and the others would laugh. But when she finished and we all settled down and, resting, she would then come and ask us, you saw the heart man? They would call him the heart man. You saw the heart man? You saw the heart man? And we were trying to explain, and that was fun for them, but crazy for us. But we would go sleep fast after that.
So that was a little trick to get you all to sleep early.
Yes.
Look at that.
Afternoons on lunchtime.
Yeah, a lot of people used to talk about the Heart Man and a whole heap of stories in different places of Barbados. So yeah, that is one of the crazy ones. I'm hoping that you never got damage running under the cellar, though.
No, but we were scared. It took effect on me. But she did feel it was fun. But it was scary for us. It scared the devil out of me. Yeah, there are some things that will traumatize children, but adults will find them funny because of a child's reaction. Yes. Yeah, but thank you so much, caller. What's your name? Gail. Okay, Gail. Well, I wish Pearson a lot better. Pearson, I wish you much better. You are the Energizer Bunny. Try and rest yourself. Oh, dear. But I'm sure that if he doesn't rest, you'll bring him some more batteries. Yes. All right, Gail. Thank you so much for calling. Yes, now that was one of the ones. Like I said, a lot of it stems from folkloric characters. We had the Heart Man, we have the Steel Donkey, and all of these things would scare us growing up. I remember I used to run from what was supposed to be the Steel Donkey. This person would come out dressed, especially on bank holidays, and I would be looking forward to the snow cone vendor. I don't know how much of you know that before snow cone was coming in the cart. It used to be shaved off with a metal shaver, a huge block of ice in this push cart, similar to what our coconut vendors have. And he would have this huge block of ice in there and just be shaving away. And you'd bring your container from inside and order that snow cone. But it just so happened that when the snow cone man was coming, this other man would come out dressed and be banging on this cowbell. And we would all just run back inside. So then it was like, you have to take whatever mommy or daddy buys. It might not be a favorite color for the snow cone, but because he was there scaring you, you would just run on back in. But call me with some other things that were crazy for you all in childhood, 228-5562, 228-5563, and we can take a look and a listen at those things. Like Gail told us, it was funny for the adults, but it somewhat traumatized her. Everything was not a trauma, though. There's some things that happened to us as children, and we then pass them on to our own offspring or to little cousins, nieces, nephews, what have you, so that they can be a part of it. Okay, so let's look at Saturday. Saturday, we're going to be gathering in Spikestown for a full day as Spikestown will come alive, and we'll tell you how that will be working out, and we'll also talk about another event, because remember, the calendars are action-packed, and Spikestown's own is very much action-packed. We'll also be hearing about the NCSA's Drug Awareness Month, Voices of the Youth contest. It's finished, and we'll get to find out who the winners are and celebrate that exceptional youth talent that we have up there. Also coming up, we'll get details about the Ministry of Youth's mentorship program, and we will also hear about the recent Zaid Award for Human Fraternity. Okay, we have another caller. Good morning to you, and where are you hailing from?
Hi, good morning. I hail from St. James.
Yes, please, go. And your name is?
Michael.
Okay, Michael, what was one of the crazy things you heard growing up?
Well, when I was growing up in St. George, we used to go out there and play every single vacation out with my grandparents. And there was this particular house which had a lady that lived there. It was an old wooden house. And she had this big black pot outside that she used to be outside. We would assume, okay, little children, because that's what the older people used to tell us. If we don't behave, they can send us out by the lady. She can cook us in a big black pot. So we used to see her outside just swirling this pot. But we assumed though it was she was doing her laundry or something like that. But every time we passed in the house, we would run straight past it because we were very scared.
So you were afraid you'd be cooked in this pot?
Yes.
Okay.
This lady was really, really, really dark, and she used to wear a lot of all black clothes, or white dress, all the
Okay.
time.
So nobody ever got to find out what was actually being cooked in the pot?
Of course, these were there.
Okay. How long did this go on? Like how many summer vacations do you remember seeing her and being afraid of this situation?
Well, because I mean, and we were probably adults.
And still scared.
Yeah, if I had to walk past there now, I would definitely run.
But she's not there anymore, is she?
Of course not. She
Right.
passed away a good while ago. But we still running though. The house still there, standing up, broken down.
Okay. But I don't know if the empty house can actually do anything. Where did the pot go to?
I have no idea. It's not there anymore.
All right, thank you so much, Michael. Okay, I guess that's probably like a Bajan Hansel and Gretel. You know, if you go to the house, you're afraid somebody will come out and get you and perhaps eat you. All right, so let's get ready now for our first guest. We have with us this morning Mr. Ted Roy Daniel. Yes, Ted Roy grew up in Christchurch. He went to Vauxhall, now Shirley Chisholm, as well as Parkinson Memorial Foundation, and a graduate of the Barbados Community College. Now, he works in the Postal Service over 32 years, actually, and he does a lot of IT work and, things like that. So when we come to what he is, he's an author, and the kind of books he publishes, you're asking yourself, how did we get to this crossover? But he will let us know. He's also penned poems and songs, so he likes writing and he has a passion for the arts. He sees it as being lucrative in Barbados. So we're now going to welcome Ted Roy with his book, a very interesting title, ladies. I am sure you'll agree, How to Keep a Man. Good morning to you, Mr. Daniel.
Hi, good morning.
Now, let's delve into this book somewhat. Now, you've written before. This is your fourth book. Why now the concentration on marriage and relationships?
Good morning, everyone. What I realized is that a lot of people were either single mothers, separated, or divorced. And even in the church. And I keep wondering, why is that? And then I realized that it's just they wanted knowledge about men. And I keep thinking women are choosing the wrong man. And once we get into relationships, whether it's the work wife, because a lot of people think it has to be the husband and wife situation, but there's always the work wife. And as we look, there are more women becoming supervisors. How do you interact with the man at work? Will he want to marry somebody with your behavior patterns? Are you affecting me negatively or positively? And when we look for knowledge, and that's the problem where we're getting. Where are the men and the women getting their knowledge from? Do we look at TV and say, my marriage has to be like this? Or do we look at the past and say, oh, I would like my marriage to be like this? But what really satisfies us as a person? And that is where it really starts. What do I want to make me happy? And is the man that I'm choosing going to bring happiness to my life? Is he going to leave me more? He's going to take from me, or is he going to add to my life? And all relationships, whether it's your children, your parents, everybody should be adding to your life, right?
And I understand that your how-to is built on 4 pillars.
Yes.
What are those 4 pillars?
Well, the first pillar is worship. The second one is communication. I had to learn that one. And the third one is finance. Okay. And the fourth one is intimacy, not sex. And there's a big difference between that part.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, because there are people who will have intercourse with each other but not understand that that's not the level of intimacy that the partner necessarily
Right.
wants. It is a part of it, but in terms of the overall scheme of love, laughter, joy, it's not always the thing. Like, for example, there's a new thing, your love language. Do you believe in love languages?
Yes, and even have a chapter where I went on the internet and I show you all these things that I say in my book is even proven by the experts, right? And what people don't understand is even when I'm in the book, it has the first 10 seconds a man sees, you can tell if he's going to marry you or not. And the first 10 seconds, if a woman sees you, if she's going to marry you or not. And the list goes down is so different
But
we look at.
that 10-second rule would speak to the whole concept and notion of love at first sight.
Yes, yes. And remember, everybody has this pre-notion of what they want their other half to be like, right?
Okay.
And somebody say, I wish you could be my father. I wish you could be my husband. I wish you could be my boss. And that relationship keeps going on because we already have a preset of what we want in life.
So, should we operate with those presets, or should we be going past those societal notions and trying to create that bond based on our personalities, our understanding of the other person, and how we see ourselves being purpose driven? Because you mentioned God up front. So do we have to first find him to really find that ultimate partner?
It's not about finding God. It's about adding God. Because the problem is we put God first, we put this body second, this body third. But it's about God being encompassed in everything we do.
Okay.
It's not first and last. He's always there with us. And once he's there with us at all times, and we don't put him in a number, he's able to guide us continually to choose the right person. But sometimes he tells you who to choose.
The omnipotent.
But that is not who
But we
I
might-
want. So then you go and choose the one you like, right?
But how do you get that balance between who is really right for you versus who you want because society, friends, parents, etc. think that you two would be a better fit than the person who can really cater to your needs and is willing to understand and communicate openly?
That is why I wrote the book, so that I can give you knowledge and guidance, and then you can make good choices.
Okay.
As I tell people, good choices. And that's all it really is.
Now, you spoke to divorce and knowing who to choose, but in relationships, people change. And there's a factor that a lot of people don't want to accept or recognize in terms of relationships. And that is that when one or the other partner in the relationship grows in some form or fashion, be it professionally, be it academically, what have you, there tends to be a modicum of jealousy.
Yeah, because don't forget, opposites attract, right? And it's hard to find two of the same in the house. He's either very professional and he goes out there, the other person is more reverse and resource and pulls back. But even my parents, my father was a go-getter, while my mother would be, you got to be careful, you don't have to do this and that, and she held him back a lot, right?
Okay.
There are other people that would leave her and go and marry somebody else that's just like them, but it still break up because the energy is too much. So you still need that balance of control what you do and what you don't. So that's why sometimes we see opposite attract, and those marriages work, and we keep asking why. Because she's there to pull him back, and he's there to push her forward.
Okay.
So there have to be a balance at some point in time in the relationship. The problem we have is, I want this no matter what. Even if we got to leave the marriage, mash it, the whole, because of this one little thing. And I will give a little example where you will have the lady, her father eats at 7 o'clock and everybody sits on the table. his father comes home and he likes, he eats anywhere in the room, mother eats in her bedroom, and they're all about the house. She is insisting that he sits at the table at 7 o'clock. She says it does not matter. And it becomes a big thing to the point where they break up. And because nobody is willing to compromise, say, okay, well, what we would do on Sundays, everybody sit on the table, and then on the other weeks, when we are busy, we can do our own thing.
Separate.
Right. And that can work for a lot of companies. But because I must be dominant, I must have the last say, you have to do it or else I will leave.
Okay, you're speaking to a dominance position, but then the other position we speak to in marriage is that of submission. And a lot of people go to the Bible and speak to the wife being submissive. But the other thing we speak about is how can you submit to someone who doesn't have the ability to lead?
That is the next problem. Where you meet, that's again, is choosing the right partner, someone that would add to your life, not take away. And we find that in a lot of especially in the foreign countries, a lot of women are being too submissive and the men are abusing them now. It goes even further. You can see even at the awards when the woman strip off the jacket, the actors, they had a little confrontation before she did it, which means that he was bullying her to do it. And
or so we assume.
Or so we assume. All right.
So we assume. Because everything as you see it isn't as it
right,
really
but that's
is.
what the people were. You know how we derive things. And that's another thing too. People derive things based on their experience and how they were treated.
Okay. So the book is out. Can we have a look-see?
Yeah.
Yes. So How to Keep a Man, the book by Ted Roy Daniel and his 4 Pillars of Marriage.
And it also has a story with Betty. She has 5 men to choose from, and you help her to choose the right man.
I will help Betty to choose.
Yes.
What if Betty
based
decided
on the new knowledge you know
that I have? So what if I decide that of those 5, I want to choose 2 or 3? Because I might not yet be ready for marriage, and I might decide, let's play it out and see, may the best man win.
Well, as you read the book, you will decide.
Okay, let's see if I decide. Maybe it might help me before Valentine's. You think?
Yes.
Okay. So Ted Roy is confident that it will help me before Valentine's. I'm not too sure, but where is it available?
It's not in the stores yet. It's in pre-launch, so you can call me and place your order. I give 100. The first 100 people will have free copy of my book 1, Thorn of Roses.
Okay.
Yes, Thorn of Roses. The first 100 people to order the book, and we will see. I can be at Whole Town Festival.
Okay, which is coming up this weekend, and yes. Okay, so we have somewhere where we can look out and find it and find Ted Roy, and I'm sure he'll be willing to engage us in things all about marriage and how to keep that man. Thank you for coming, Ted Roy. I will have a good look-see because who knows, we all need that additional knowledge. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to thank Ted Roy. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have some more interesting segments in store for you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, I'm Julia. My mommy works at the front desk of a big hotel. She helps tourists find fun things to do in Barbados. And today, I get to see what her job is all about. Mommy, what is a tourist?
A tourist is a person who visits another country or community for a short period of time. This is a part of the tourism industry.
Why do they visit other countries?
Well, for many reasons. Vacation, shopping, festivals, education, sports, business, and to visit family.
Where do tourists who visit Barbados come from?
Well, they come from many places. The United Kingdom, or UK, United States of America, or the USA, other Caribbean countries, Canada, Latin America, like Brazil and Panama.
And it's time now to welcome Andrea Cadogan and Christine Callender. Andrea is the Product Development Officer with the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., whereas Christine is a teacher at the Lawrence T. Gay Primary School. And they're here to talk about the BTMI's All About Tourism for Primary Schools program. That is what they're here to talk about this morning. Now, before we start, ladies, what I want to find out from you is what were some of the crazy things you all heard about growing up?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to say good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Barbados, and thank you for having me. Oh, when it comes to tourism, we always hear that people have lots of money, and they do a lot of shopping, and people come from strange places, they speak strange languages, they have strange money. So everything seems a bit strange, out of the extraordinary. But, it was always something that people always admire visitors. People always say they wish they could be a visitor to our tourists when they go to another destination. So those are mainly some of the crazy things, that everything was strange because you're not accustomed to it. The money looks different, they sound different, in some instances they look different,
Okay. And what about you? What were some of the crazy things you heard about, Christine?
Okay, good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Barbados. I grew up in St. George, and being in the country, we heard so many weird things. But, you would hear, if you're talking about tourists, the tourists are really those white women with blonde hair and blue eyes and so on. So I always thought that was a tourist.
Okay. You didn't know that you could be a tourist too, and in your own country. Once
Yes.
you take some time off. Now, this program, tourism is still one of our main economic contributors. And we talk about being able to understand the industry. How are we a part of it? Getting more of our young people to actually be players in the industry, not just workers, but players, because you don't necessarily have to work in tourism to be on board with tourism. So what I want to find out about in terms of the program and the age groups, I'm going to come to you first, because why primary school?
I believe you start with you want to build a foundation. And we believe primary will be the best place to start, or the better place to start. We need to get our children excited about tourism, to understand the importance of tourism. We're not necessarily saying that everybody has to work in tourism, because I know they will have, they may have their own careers in mind, what they want to do at this point in time. But what we must be mindful of is that you can be involved in tourism whether directly or indirectly. So no matter what they do, they're still going to have an effect or impact on the tourism industry.
Okay. Now, we've chosen the 7 to 9 age group, and Lawrence TA is one of our pilot schools in this program. How has it been?
Well, the launch was on Tuesday, and really the children were given a packet with a book. And I found, even in my class, every day these children have this book out and reading something about it. There's an activity there and so on. And even after the launch, we spoke about what went on Tuesday morning, and they were so fascinated with the video. They cannot wait to start this program.
Okay,
Yes.
so we've already have them engaged.
Yes.
Now, the outcomes, because for every little thing you do, you expect something to be produced at the end of it. And I'm sure that what we're looking for here is more than just them getting insights and knowledge about the sector. What are some of your targets?
Well, when you look at the outcomes, I mean, they were developed skills such as listening, defining, things like categorizing, being able to be confident to ask questions, because some children, yes, there are some that are willing to ask questions, others may be a little shy, whatever the case may be. They'll be given the opportunity to share with us, share their experiences, because as you appreciate, there are some children that when they travel annually, or like you and I, they travel annually, and they're pretty versed when it comes to traveling.
Okay.
So, it allows them to share the experience. And I mean, the program allows them to, there are different aspects, because we're going to look at, for example, countries that visitors travel
Or
from.
destinations.
That's geography. We're talking about currency. You can see some mathematics coming into play there. We're talking
Because they
about
have to know how to convert it.
Exactly. We're talking about languages, and you know what I mean. And so English is important, but then they're also going to be able to see that there are other languages as well, that we all do not speak English. And one of the things that I was really impressed with when I went to the launch on Tuesday is that some students, they did a performance, and it was actually a Spanish group at Lawrence TK, and they did a performance in Spanish.
Are you responsible for the Spanish?
I am not, but they're from my class, so I'm very proud of them.
Okay. Habla español. So they were able to get it. Now, one of the other things that they're going to be looking at is the whole idea of careers as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Are they excited about that? Does the school plan to have a role play day where they get dressed up, where they run a hotel? Are you how far are you going with this interaction?
We have not gotten that far in our planning, but I can see that as one of the things coming out. Because I have some budding little chefs.
Ah,
yes.
Okay.
I have a little boy. His mom bought his lunch yesterday, and he's telling the others, "Oh, this is chicken skin wrapped around chips." And I'm like, "Oh." He tells me, "But ma'am, I cook sometimes too." So I am trying to point him in a direction. Yes, you can be a chef as well. So, so he's looking at that. But some of them, they're talking about being receptionists and working at the airport and so on. So yes, we are going to have some children heading in that direction. And for my thought on it, yes, we can have a day built in where they will role play and so on.
Okay. How does this factor into the BTMI's overall strategy in terms of tourism development at the national level?
Oh, definitely. As I said, we're starting with the primary school. That's the future of tourism there and then. So training and development is important for our youth. And the only way that we can do such is if we actually engage them with programs such as the All About Tourism School Awareness Program and other programs as well. We work closely with some secondary schools.
Right, because I know there's the Condé Nast writing and all those other
And you have the
types.
Barbados Youth Congress, you know, where out of that you have your Junior Minister of Tourism, which goes on then to the regional level. And then we also, for example, BCC will give, usually when they have the orientation, we will get a call to come and do a presentation as well on some aspect of tourism. So we are engaging the youth at all levels. But in this instance now, this particular program, we've designed it specifically for these primary schools because we would have done that years ago and we realized, you know, we need to go back, you know, and, you know, sensitize them once again.
Revisit.
So we're actually reintroducing the program.
Okay. Are the parents on board?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. We're actually having PTA meeting next week. And in that meeting, we're going to be sharing whatever plans we have and so on with those parents. But so far, I am on the PTA executive and I've spoken to the president about it. Her daughter is also in my class, so she's going to push it at that level as well.
Okay, so that's what we really need at the end of the day, isn't it? All hands on deck.
Yes, all the support we can get.
Yes, so we're talking about all about tourism in our primary schools. It's an awareness program for the children. Now, in terms of trying to get their little minds activated about the careers, etc., she mentioned the Spanish, and that's good because we do need to be bilingual in terms of dealing with the people here. We're now starting out, but how do you see languages factoring into this program more? Not just for the primary ones we're dealing with here, but for some of the other youth development programs that BTMI has.
Well, you know, as I said, we're starting at the primary level, so we want to get them interested. Just coincidentally, the students will be exposed to some of the foreign languages during this program. So we have some exciting things planned for them. So when they go home and they start to say certain things in another language, at least they'll be teaching their parents if they don't already know. But we do encourage our students, you know, to engage in a foreign language. And not only that, even adults, you know, we encourage adults to, you know, learn a language. Because one of our challenges here is that we expect, because we speak English, if we leave here and we go to Japan, we expect to hear somebody speaking English. Yes. We don't make the effort. And it's unfortunate, we do not make that effort to learn another language. I think a lot of us are guilty of learning a language up to a certain point, and then we stop. And then you start over again. I mean, I'm guilty too. Then you start over.
We all are.
You start over and you get there and you stop again.
And now
for
we have the
whatever reason.
smartphone that can be turned on and we can do that translation.
Exactly.
We're good to go.
Exactly, exactly. So that if they go on to tertiary education, usually once they're doing tourism studies, there's a language component in there. So at least they still have some basic through primary and obviously the secondary level as well.
Okay.
We will encourage that.
Now, you spoke about this manual that the children are so excited about. As a teacher, how do you see that also raising their abilities, etc., in terms of their reading, their comprehension skills, etc.? How do you see it factoring in?
Okay. Now, as we know, children learn in different ways. And sometimes the material we present to children, not all children will understand, not all children will be readily accepting of it. Having seen this book, there were two different books, but there's one in particular all the children were actually fighting to get. They're exchanging with each other and so on. And they have the puzzles, the crossword puzzles and so on. So they're not only reading the written work,
Yes.
but they're also getting to think and use those puzzles and whatever to open their ideas. A child actually came to me, Mom, I tried to find a word for here. I said, think about it. Don't ask me first. Think about it.
Okay.
What is it asking for?
So we're getting them to push on
think,
ahead.
yes.
Well, here's hoping that as the program continues throughout
Yes.
the term, it's an active term with sports, but I'm sure they'll find the time
Yes.
to become tourism-wise.
Yes.
I want to thank you, ladies, for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
And do have a brilliant day.
Yes, and I would also just like to say, Wendy, if you don't mind, I just want to say thank you to the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, because they are on board. And if they were not on board, we would not have been able to go into the school. So I just want to say thank you, and a special thank you too to Lawrence Tige, our first school that we will be visiting.
Awesome.
And I too would like to say thank you very much for the BTMI for considering us as the pilot school, the launch school. We are very, very pleased, and we are thankful to you all for doing that.
Very much.
Yes.
Also, good morning to my colleagues at Lawrence Tige and to my class 3 calendar.
Okay, so 3 calendar, you all have gotten a special shout out this morning. But I want to say to all the little ones out there this morning, have a fantastic day as you make your way to school. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear all about Spikestown coming alive as St. Peter continues into February with We Gathering.
National Airport or the Bridgetown Port. Mommy, how does tourism benefit us? Well, tourism provides jobs like mine and many others, such as chefs, taxi drivers, entertainers, water sports operators, and so much more. Tourism is so important to Barbados that almost any job you can think of is either directly or indirectly connected to tourism. Even a bus driver? Yes, Julia, even a bus driver. My teacher told me that tourism brings in foreign exchange. What's that? Foreign exchange is money or currency from other countries. For example, tourists from the UK use the currency called the British pound, the ones from the USA use the United States dollar, and others from Japan use the Japanese yen. Are there any other benefits? The foreign exchange helps our economy. It allows us to improve roads and highways, and meeting new people helps us to learn about other cultures. Mommy, do tourists stay at the airport? No, Julia. They stay at a variety of places around the island. They can stay at hotels like the one I work at, resorts, villas, guest houses, and even homes. Now, I have a question for you. Do you know what tourists do when they visit Barbados? They go to the beach. Yes, good job. Along with going to the beach, tourists participate in other activities including exploring Harrison's Cave, Eco Adventure Park, and viewing the animals at the Wildlife Reserve. Other activities include surfing, ziplining, jet skiing, horseback riding, off-road fury, as well as visiting various restaurants and food experiences. I'd love to go ziplining. Maybe when you're older, Julia. So, Mommy, when I grow up, can I work?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game with Domino's and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And welcome back. And if you're now rising and joining us, welcome to you too. It's going to be a fantastic morning. Now, we are talking Speightstown Alive. Yes, as part of St. Peter's We Gathering, we're talking about the We Gathering, a marquee event in St. Peter. Yes, Speightstown Alive come February 8th from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. And joining us to talk about how Speightstown will come alive this weekend are Miss Elizabeth Hines, who is the senior tour guide with the Barbados Museum and Historical Society, along with Anastasia Bernard, who is the assistant marketing officer there. Good morning to you, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning.
Now, most people will be wondering, Speightstown, why museum? Well, the reason behind it is that the theme for Saturday is heritage. Yes. So let's talk about the heritage of Speightstown and how the museum will be playing a role in that event and making it all come alive.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. Speightstown does have a quite rich and quite expansive history. This year we would also be looking at the various connections that Speightstown has. So some persons may be aware that Speightstown at one point was referred to as Little Bristol.
Yes.
So looking at the connection between that and directly with Britain itself. Also in terms of the connection to Charleston and the Carolinas, which has become a much more explored subject recently. And we are looking to build those connections stronger so that person can see more or less how the culture from Barbados started, was translocated over there as well. In terms of resistance in the area and connections to the continent of Africa as well. Okay. So all of that would be entailed into the heritage tours that we are looking to bring off in Speightstown this Saturday.
Okay, now along with the heritage tours, Anastasia, I understand that we can also get to find out about our genealogy, and there'll be a marketplace where we can look at that, and you know, we're going to even get to see AI and perhaps maybe see what our great forefathers may have looked like.
Yes, the role of the Barbados Museum, and we are very happy to be partnering with the National Cultural Foundation. So we'll be focusing more so on the Little Bristol to the World, and that's the title of the tour. And our tour guides, they are very excited to bring the story of Speightstown alive. So as Elizabeth would have mentioned, we'll be touching on several key topics and several focal points, even as Speightstown in its early days as a bustling trade city. So we are happy to be doing that February 8th, this Saturday. We have 3 times, I believe it is,
Yes.
11 a.m., 1 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Okay.
So yes.
Now, part of most of the activity will be concentrated along Queen Street. And one of the things on Queen Street is the Arlington Museum.
Mhm.
Will that be factored into these activities as well?
We will be speaking in Arlington, particularly since it is one of the physical representations of the connection between us and Charleston. Something that most people probably do not know is that Charleston itself is actually a colony of Spikestown in particular. And a lot of the architecture that you're seeing in Spikestown today, even in the presence of the buildings that have not really changed over time, has basically just been taken, copy and pasted into Charleston. So if you were to go to Charleston today, you would definitely see some similar sites to what you would see in Spikestown. So yes, it will be factored in.
Yeah, because a lot of them do have the verandas that open out onto the roadside. Even the colors of the homes are very much similar to houses in Barbados, and it's just mind-blowing when you think about it, because you're looking at the distance, but there's so much similarity in terms of the trade. Now, also, there's also going to be a concert in Spikestown where they're going to be showcasing all kinds of things, a sunset concert across multiple genres. We can also get to see some folk performances with vintage Kaiso legends like Bumba Kidsite, the Mighty Gabby, and even Spooge Music will be there and be a part of it. And then we're going to also have Stiffy and, you know, that type of activity. But when we talk about the heritage and being able to showcase a space, what are some of the things that visitors look forward to hearing or seeing? A lot of people like to be able to touch and relate to artifacts. Will we have any of that?
Well, we do not really have an artifact component to the tour. However, where possible, we do like to be able to include things like pictures. Spikestown itself, the overall structure has not changed, but there is a difference somewhat with how it would have been back then versus how it is now, even in terms of things like having this street paved. So in those instances, we would be willing to provide pictures so that persons can see what Spikestown would have looked like and more or less have an idea, because the idea is for them to have that look back into the past as well and appreciate how it's evolved over time.
Okay. Now, folks, along with looking at the evolution of Spikestown, remember, we're coming alive, and with all things that come alive, there's always food. So we're going to have some sweet Bajan food where all of the restaurants will be on board, BTMI as well, as we do the Barbados Food and Rum pop-up. And there's also going to be something called On Plein Air, which is going to be painting, fashion, storytelling, and traditional games. And they're all designed to create and celebrate the Barbadian culture and heritage. And I guess things like Wari, etc. will be among it. Because my folks came from Spikestown, and they would always talk about getting together in the Esplanade and watching the mobile cinema or playing Wari. So I'm hoping that these are things that are going to be a part of that tour. Do we or will we get the opportunity to hear from any old folk from Spikestown about what things used to be like?
I actually am not 100% sure.
Okay. That's okay.
Tour guides will definitely be bringing the story and the history of Spikestown alive.
Yeah, because Spikestown does have quite a history. And we're going to be happy that it is going to get to be showcased with the world. I want to thank the museum from coming on board. And folks, remember the highlights of this, the sister cities link up, Bristol and Charleston. We're looking at the Gold Coast. We'll have some strolling minstrels. It's going to be lots of things to do. So come out from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. where you will get the party going and going in the right direction with our Spooge, our Soca, Stiffy and friends, a whole heap of things. So come on out to Spikestown, head north. It's going to be a day of fun. I want to thank the ladies for coming, and we'll be right back after this break.
Hello, Barbados. I'm Cassandra Crawford, a proud St. Peter native, and I'm inviting you to come celebrate St. Peter and its rich heritage on Saturday, February 8th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We gather in for Spikestown Alive. Get ready for an immersive cultural experience as you journey through time with the help of historical characters and tour guides taking you on a heritage tour from bustling Queen Street. Indulge in sweet Bajan food. Trace your lineage at the Genealogy Marketplace. Discover your inner artist with outdoor painting. Discover our connection to the diaspora through the sister cities link up with Bristol, Charleston, Reading, and the Gold Coast of Africa. Come for the food, fashion, and history, and stay for the sunset concert. We gather in at Spice Town Alive, St. Peter, in a celebration of Barbadian culture, arts, and heritage you won't forget. Saturday, February 8th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. See you there.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oistins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise. When you love me just a little bit longer.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And we're back. Now we have something to be proud of, and that is that once again, Barbados has been recognized through its Prime Minister. Yes. Our Prime Minister, Mia Amor-Motley, says that after having been awarded the 2025 Zayed Award for Human Fraternity, she sees it as a call to action, and it highlights the plights of the future if action isn't taken in the fight for climate change. She was awarded in the United Arab Emirates, given the award. We go now to a snippet of her acceptance speech.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Honorable Mia Amor-Motley to the stage.
Your Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, members of the judging committee, fellow awardees, my brothers and sisters. As usual, a speech was prepared and I'm leaving it behind. I want to thank all of you, first of all, for the acknowledgement and confidence that you've placed in us, all of the awardees. This is not an accolade, but it is a call to action, and it is a charge for us to continue doing what we do. This young lady who you saw, and so many more like her, are the ones who will be affected by the wildfires and the hurricanes and the destruction of the coral reefs. But while we talk about the destruction of the climate crisis, they're also going to be affected by the things that will be ignored if we don't recognize that we cannot separate people and planet, that our actions to support each other must first and foremost say, see people, hear people, and feel people. This Zayed Award for Humanity, bringing together the best of what is represented both by His Holiness Pope Francis and His Eminence, the Grand Imam, allows us to reflect on what really matters. For without life, we have nothing. And without planet, we definitely have nothing. Let us not be arrogant and believe that species live on forever and will never become extinct, because we know that living species have become extinct. And let us not believe that our civilization is above all else, because we know that human civilizations have also failed. The rooting that we have with the moral imperative that we give through religion and through our shared values must be enough to take us to the next level. I do not want to be the leader here alone, being saluted for my country, for that does not carry us much further. I do wish, however, that we can create a platform where all leaders can be given the space, policy, and fiscal to be able to do for their people, because we come to leadership at a point when the world is at a serious inflection moment. My optimism remains because as a student of history, I know that light will always prevail over darkness. Or as is said in the Bible, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh always in the morning. It is our duty to hold on. It is our duty to press on. It is our duty to take the long, deep breaths. But it is our responsibility always to recognize that we must make history trend in the right direction, not for us who have lived life, and a lot of it already, but for the young ones who now must have that opportunity to appreciate the dignity of life. I thank you, all of the members of this committee, for this high honor bestowed upon me, and I take it not in my name, but in the name not just of Barbados and the Caribbean community, but in the name of all those who want a voice for a better planet and for opportunities and peace for the people of the world. Thank you.
Congratulations again to the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, whose lifelong dedication to humanity and the planet inspires us all.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, I'm Wendy Burke, and this is the CBC Morning News. In our top story, there's a suggestion that invasive pets and other organisms are finding their way into the country because individuals are trying to evade quarantine regulations. It's coming from Acting Chief Agricultural Officer Michael James, who says they're easily transported.
Pets don't need passports. They usually come in with human beings or in cargo. They don't need passports. They don't stop at the ports of entry and say, okay, hi, I'm here. That does not occur. So they usually find a pathway where they can come in. They can come in on crops. They can come in on plants that come into the island. They can come in on seeds. They can come in on your shoes for persons that would have visited other countries and gone on farms or whatever. That too, you have to be very careful because you do not know what you might have picked up on your boot, on your clothes.
Mr. James says even if an individual has a backyard garden, they need to be cautious of their movements.
Well, you too have to be cognizant of what you bring into your backyard garden, and this is for even pests that are endemic in Barbados. So if you might not have it in your property, but you go and you bring in something from a neighbor or a friend, and you don't know what it is, it can introduce something into your locale that is not there. So persons have to be, I keep on saying people use the technology and whatever. Also use the technology to understand what it is that you shouldn't be just bringing in fruit, vegetables, and especially light plants willy-nilly.
The little boy who was struck by a car in an accident on Monday on his way home from school has been reunited with his family and appears to be on the mend. 6-year-old Akaru Edwin has been discharged from the hospital, and his mother Natasha Martindale tells CBC News doctors at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital have informed her he has no broken bones and no internal bleeding.
He still has a few aches and pains, but we're hoping for the best. In head is the most part that is right now giving him the most pain. The legs, but he coming through.
Ms. Martindale explains he was on his way home from school with his older siblings who were walking behind him. She says the family is thankful for the overwhelming support they've received since the accident.
As soon as my granddad told me that, I was still trying to get it to grips, but then I sent my granddad first, and it's when I got there, then I saw all the young fellas from like Vietnam and I think maybe Blackwater in the area. They were really assisting with him. They had a nurse lady, they had a BDF support, and then what mostly relieved me was when the scan came back that there were no broken bones. That was my most and happiest, weightlifting moment.
Businesses in the city are hoping for favorable Valentine's Day sales. Many of them have well-stocked shelves and are waiting for the last-minute rush. Anesta Henry has that report.
Chocolates, flowers, jewelry, wines, roses or gift cards, businesses in Bridgetown are ready for Valentine's Day sales. And even though the day recognized universally as the Day of Love is days away, store owners and managers are saying that people are already searching for that perfect gift. Senior sales associate at Pandora, Juanita Down, says the store has a wide selection of pieces for Valentine's.
We have customers already know how Pandora actually goes when it comes to Valentine's, especially special occasions, I should say. We have customers already, men especially, shopping early for women, rings and necklaces, just to make sure they have the right piece for their loved ones.
Bridgetown Duty Free is celebrating the month of February with a special promotion, Love is the Key. Store's operations manager, Stacey Wharton, says the store has restocked popular fragrances and other items which sold out last Christmas.
We have a few early shoppers, but as you know, Barbadians are late customers, so we are expecting later in the week and next week to be busier as far as Valentine's is concerned.
Gift baskets and I Love You heart-shaped balloons are on display for all to see at Imperial Gifts and Balloons City Center Mall. Managing Director Althea Wells says her business is also offering roses in a variety of colors.
People are ordering already, putting in the orders. Some people are taking balloons already and getting the buys ready. They are looking at the buys that are already finished and going to come back to get them.
While the feeling that Valentine's Day is coming is missing from Swan Street, city businesses are anticipating the usual last-minute rush from shoppers to start early next week. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
And in sports news, Barbados will be hosting some key fixtures for both the men's and women's West Indies cricket teams this year. CWI has unveiled a 2025 schedule which runs from May to December, featuring a mix of home and away fixtures. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke takes a closer look.
It's an action-packed 2025 schedule for the men's and women's West Indies cricket teams that will see them face Ireland, England, Australia, India, New Zealand, Bangladesh, Pakistan and South Africa between May and December. The men began their campaign with limited overs tours in the United Kingdom between May 21st to June 15th, before welcoming Australia to the Caribbean for its first Test series since 2015, where they will battle for the prestigious Frank Worrell Trophy in a 3-match series that also coincides with the start of the ICC World Test Championship cycle. Barbados will be the starting point of this series, hosting the first test at Kensington Oval from June 25th to 29th. That tour will also see the West Indies play Australia in 5 T20s. Following that, they welcome Pakistan for a 2-3-match T20 and ODI series at the end of July. Closing out the year, the men's team will embark on overseas tours to India, Bangladesh and New Zealand between September 21st and December 23rd. On the women's end, they get the ball rolling with the Women's Cricket World Cup qualifiers in Pakistan from April 4th to 19th, where 6 teams will compete for 2 spots in the marquee event in India, which is scheduled for August to September. Following the qualifiers, the women will tour England for a full white ball series, featuring 3 T20s and 3 ODIs from May 21st to June 8th. Barbados will then be back in the spotlight as the women host South Africa for a historic white ball series at the 3Ws Oval, marking the first time the venue will stage such an international series. Several developmental tours are also featured on the 2025 calendar. The West Indies will host South Africa A for 2 4-day first-class matches and 3 one-day matches from May 17th to June 10th. There will also be a men's emerging T20 tournament, while the West Indies Academy will host Sri Lanka for 2 4-day matches and 3 50-over games from June 3rd to 27th. And Sri Lanka on the 19th will also tour the region from August 25th to September 16th. Anne-Marie Burke, CBC Sports.
And that's our news this morning. We'll take a break and be back with Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning. Good morning to you.
Jingle, 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 jingle. That's how the youth now mingle. It's the newest drug for youth, a new synthetic drug that soothes. Your life is a seed. Will you plant it in a field filled with luscious blooming greenery, or in a forest where the trees are twisted and gnarled and block out the sunlight? Have you ever heard of this place before? Doesn't it sound familiar? Well, to me, it sounds like a metaphor for the person with a mind that is going through substance abuse disorder. It is is no secret that drugs have invaded our society. And slowly but surely, synthetic drugs are burrowing in, finding the soft underbelly of our society, our youth. According to the U.S. National Center for Drug Abuse Statistics, a whopping...
Imagine this. Society places a beautifully crafted, mysterious box in your hand. Its surface adorned with intricate carvings, one that shimmers in the light, almost as if calling out to you. The story surrounding this box? Legendary. Opening this box promises unimaginable pleasures, but there's a warning. Once open, chaos will follow. The catch? You can never know what's inside unless you open it, right? Curiosity stirs within you, and before you know it, bam! Ladies, gentlemen, contest chair, this is the Greek essence of the myth Pandora's box, a tale as old as time. Let's take a journey back to an era of gods and legends, where divine beings ruled the heavens. Pandora, curious and full of wonder, was given a mesmerizing box by the gods.
How weird is it that we treat men and women differently when it comes to something as serious as substance abuse? It's like we're playing a game of who's struggling more, and the rules are completely different based on your gender. Men have this strange ability to drink themselves into oblivion and then call it a good time. Yo, here, I went out with my bros last night. We had a blast. Woke up on a stranger's couch with no memory, but hey, that's how we roll. I'm not saying that every guy who drinks is gonna end up on the table saying sorry by Justin Bieber. However, men are at a much higher risk for developing substance use disorders compared to women, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. In addition, let's not forget the emotional side of substance.
What you just heard were the dynamic voices of the National Council on Substance Abuses of Voices of the Youth speech contest winners. We started with the third placer, Haley Harding. Then we came to the second place, Victory Belgrave, and Talisa, our winner. So we have Corrigan Parry in the house, Talisa Boyce, Victory Belgrave of Christchurch Foundation, and then Haley Harding of the Graydon Seeley Secondary School. First of all, ladies, I want to say congratulations to you for those wonderful pieces and being able to understand what drugs are really doing to our society. Of course, these children could not make it here without the help of their teachers, and I want to say an awesome good morning to Daniel Devonish of the Christchurch Foundation School, along with Miss Cheryl Williams of the Graydon Seeley Secondary. Now, permit me to get to the kids first, and then I will get back to you, the teachers, about the participation in these speech competition. Now, the NCSA ran this competition. It came off, we had 10 finalists, 9 schools across the island, and we would have heard how impactful they really were. I'm going to get to our winner now, Talisa. You brought in some interesting imagery and you played it into what's popular now with Justin Bieber's song and what's what. What was the motivation behind it all when you started writing this piece?
Well, substance abuse is a pretty serious topic, so even though it's so serious, I don't want people to feel, because you know some people might struggle with abuse and stuff, I don't want them to feel bad about it. I want them to be able to joke with it and still know it's okay to get help.
Okay, so you don't want to preach doom and gloom. You decided to go way back to the days of our Greeks and so on, and we're talking about opening Pandora's box.
Yes, please. Like, I read the story of Pandora's box when I was really little. When I first pulled my top it, I was thinking, what will I do with healthy alternatives? Like, to me, how can I make this interesting? How can I make it relevant? And then that's when it came to me, what's in your box? And then I was like, oh my gosh, that story, let me go back. And that's how it started out.
Okay, so there's still light and hope once that box is open.
That's true.
Okay, let's come now to Haley of Great and Silly with Be the Smart Seed.
Well, for me, being the smart seed is all about weighing out your options, because life is like a seed when you really think about it. You have to be really careful of the type of soil you plant it in, because as the saying goes, you reap what you sow. And if you want to nurture a good life and, you know, have good upbringings and healthy family and a healthy lifestyle, you want to plant your seed somewhere or surround yourself with people, with places that make you feel safe, that make you feel nurtured, that make you feel like you're growing.
Awesome, awesome. I'm going to start with Miss Williams. Now, Great and Silly actually had 2
Yes, we did.
finalists in there. You know, what was the motivation behind actually getting these kids on board? Was it difficult?
Well, we had 2 contestants and 1 finalist. But for me, anytime a child says, I want to speak out, I want to share my ideas, and they're willing to go on stage and do it, that's a winning combination for me. So whether they place or not, I consider they have won just by taking part. So the person who came, who didn't get into the finals, he won in my view because he's a very shy person and he really extended himself and grew in order to get there. So, you know, and of course Haley, she has put in a lot of work, a lot of research went into it, and then it was the organization of all the ideas that came tumbling out as soon as she finished her research.
Okay, yeah. And over to you now, Daniel Devonish of Christchurch Foundation. Now, how much input did you have as the teacher, or were you just there as the guide?
So, as the teacher, we believe that this is an opportunity really for the kids, and as a teacher, we like to be ones to guide, the ones that would help you know, lift any loads that may be a bit strenuous for them. So as they prepared, we had responsibilities such as like setting deadlines, because sometimes without accountability, it tends to be difficult to work towards a target. So we would have told them, you know, we need a first draft by this time, but we don't know that. We're probably not getting it. Yeah, we're not getting our first draft by then.
Okay.
So we had a bit foresight. We had a bit of foresight, foreseeing that. So we put deadlines, and then we would have refined the different drafts, cleaned up some of the language, and then also work on the delivery aspect of it. So I would say that most of the ideas really came from them, because even if we wanted to really refine it or change it up, unless it comes from them, is going to come out in how they deliver that message. So whatever message it is that they shared in the end is fully theirs.
Back to you girls now. I realize in terms of the actual delivery that Mr. Belgrave is speaking about, you all were very impassioned. Are any of you part of your drama club or the speech or debating society at schools? Because, you know, you acted as if you were on stage before.
Public speaking.
Yes.
But that was my second competition.
Okay, so second for you. And you, Victory?
I've done competitions before. I'm also in debate, and I'm a theater arts student.
Very good. And what about you,
I've
Haley?
done similar competitions before. I am actually in the Octagon Debating Club at my school, and this is my Octagon debating coach right here.
Okay,
Yes.
so that explains it. So you were coaching her every step of the way, Miss Williams.
Well, this time we brought on a team member, so Miss Jamie Carrington, who is in the wings, she also assisted me, and that helped having more ideas come to the fore and helping Haley when I was about to pull my hair out. She was there in the wings working, so we were able to tag team and work with her.
But Haley doesn't seem like a student who you'd have to pull your hair out for.
Well, the thing is, sometimes refining ideas.
Okay.
You know, it's important to refine ideas, and we have, as a coach, you have an idea of the world out there and the competition needs. So sometimes as a speaker, you really have an idea, you know, you really want to put it in this way, but we have an idea of how the world will take that particular phrase or statement. Okay. I was like, no, Haley, no.
Yeah, she's giggling, so she knows she's guilty. So did you take that instruction well, and are you happy now with how it worked out?
Yes, I did actually. Of course, I'm a person who, if I have an idea and
I know my means about it. Yes, I can be difficult to convince otherwise because you have to have you have to be able to convince me well.
So in other words, you hard ears.
No. You have to be able
just kidding around.
to convince me well in order for me to just take what you're saying and go with it.
Okay, to drop what's yours to the
And not only that, but I didn't just have experience before, but I actually felt passionate about the topic because drug abuse is actually a problem amongst our youth in today's society, especially in Barbados. You can go on the street and you can see a 13-year-old smoking a spliff, and that's crazy. It's become so normalized.
Okay, I understand you're also a junior tourism minister?
Yes, that is true.
Okay, so that explains it now. And we want drugs off these streets because we want the tourists to come here and see a healthy Barbados,
exactly.
right? Okay, now let me get to our winner, Talisa. Drinking like a man. Don't you also find too now that a lot more young women are turning to alcohol and sometimes finding themselves victims in poor situations?
Yes, please. So originally when I pulled the topic, I wanted to do it like how most people would assume men are like the ones that's be more influenced by substance abuse. But then I sit down and think about it, and it's like both women and men are affected. Like it's something that affects everybody. So I decided it's not good to just like single out men. So also, while women might do it differently, instead of like going to the bar with their buddies, they might do wine or thing, and then the excuses are different. Both genders come up with these excuses, but in reality, it's like you could always to cope. You could always see how it's not everything that you need to grab a bottle for. It's people that you could talk to, the National Council of Substance Abuse, a friend, anyone really.
Okay. Now, in terms of you now, Victory, what are some of your burning concerns about youth involvement with drugs, especially these new psychoactives? And I guess you've seen those little candies that are about now, the teddy bears that they say children are taking. What are some of your burning concerns really knowing that these things are on offer to young people?
Well, my concerns just lie with the upcoming generation. As we all know, the crime rate in Barbados is going up, and so is the percentage of drug use. And it really, it doesn't sit with me well. It really hurts me knowing that this generation that I'm growing up in is turning over on a bad page, and I just really hope that we can overcome this obstacle of drug abuse, because it really isn't a good thing.
And you see the causal link between the drugs and the crime?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, how does that hearten you, Mr. Belgrave, to know that their minds are in the right place?
All right, Mr. Devonish.
Devonish, sorry.
Yeah, so, as a teacher, I've had some encounters, even with my own students, and they would have been smoking something before, and you could really see how it impacts their behavior inside the class, as well as the ability to absorb, retain the information. So it's really disheartening that these students would find or feel the need that they need to turn to a drug before coming to school, right? School start at 8:30 in the morning, or what we doing before that time. So for me, it speaks to a deeper issue. There clearly has to be a deeper issue where if we have children, persons below the age of 18 abusing drugs, right? I think that we need to collectively, investigate this underlying cause and lend our support into it, right? And a bit of the challenge as well is that sometimes we don't feel it's our issue. Sometimes we feel that it's just their issue, but
because it's not at our doorstep.
Exactly. But I think as Tristan, right, who's the other competitor, in his speech, he was saying that it impacts all of us, right? If it's that they end up going to prison, we need to lend support in that regard. So, or even if we have a child, and then those persons abusing drugs could then lead our child into a way of drugs. So yeah, it affects all of us.
Now, Ms. Williams, for some, they may see it as just a speech competition put on by NCSA, but in terms of that organization, has the school attempted to maybe say tap in to some of the programs that they may have to assist your children, letting them come back for talks, anything of the like?
Well, our school is always available to, especially near the end of term when there's a lot of downtime, for entities like the NCSA to come in and talk with students and have workshops. And then through the guidance counselor and principal of the school, there's frequent discussions and ways that we interact with organizations like that, because we do know that our students have problems all through the island. There are problems with drug abuse, and we know that we have to intervene. And sometimes it seems that the resources out there are not plentiful. So we have to try and reach out, and to reach out in very different ways. Speech competition is a different way from what you might think. But in doing the research, in talking to their friends about information they need, because research includes personal stories from friends and family and so on, to connect with what you're researching online. And that sort of interaction and discussion also teaches, So I'm sure that Haley learned a lot about synthetic drugs from her research.
Okay. So we will take a break and we'll be back with you to hear just a bit more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Here with our little ones, our young voices from the NCSA's Voices of the Youth Speech Contest. And we've made a swap in terms of the teaching because, they always have to have a guide. And I want to welcome now Miss Jamie Carrington, a teacher at the Graydon Seeley Secondary School. Okay, let's get straight to it now, Ms. Carrington, in terms of the speech competition, having had 2 people in. How was it? Do you necessarily, were you rooting for both of them to make it through to the final? What were you hoping for in the process?
As Ms. Williams said, I was just hoping for Ethan to just rally it through and not to be nervous, and he did very well. So it was just for him to go through and not back out, not to be shy. He stood his ground, and he did well. He did well.
So this was more or less like a confidence booster.
Yes, this was to get him to build his confidence and to get his feet wet in competitions. So this was like the test drive.
Okay, and what was his subject?
His subject was on alcoholism.
Okay. And how did he interpret it?
Well, he interpreted as, teenage drinking. It was based along the lines of don't drink and drive and like that.
Okay, so he was making sure that we understand that there are repercussions
Yes, please.
for being drunk, and it's all about responsibility.
Yes, please.
Having been in the midst of all of the competition and heard all the various presentations, whether they're the winners or just the finalists, what for you were some of the big takeaways in terms of knowing that we still have some positives? We're controlling our interaction with substances is concerned.
The positives for me, I commend all students. They were very well. They got their point across. It would have motivated me to myself as an adult, and I think they did very well.
Okay. Now, in terms of motivating you, what were some of those things that would have pulled at your heartstrings in terms of the subject matter they delivered on?
Like, for instance, you have children in the environment, and one of the speeches was about your child. Everything you do, your child mimics. And that was a big takeaway from me. They bring it into the schools. That was a big takeaway for me.
And that's the unfortunate reality, isn't it, girls? That
It is.
in a number of our homes, you see it, whether it be an uncle, whether it be a grandfather, whoever.
That's actually how it starts. It starts in the home. It starts when they pass by and they see their neighborhood friend who's a bit older than them rolling a joint, or at the pub. You know how you have those bars in our community where people gather?
A rum shop?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You know it a little bit more locally?
Because I believe because we have age restrictions, it's easier for our young people to access the village rum shop than it would be a bar with a bouncer, But some of you are very mature looking and grown, so
some of us do get through.
Yeah, some will get through.
The rum shops, per se.
Okay.
It's very easy to gain access to those as a young person, and when you pass by and you see all the older folk and your father and your mom is probably sitting there next to him, maybe he's smoking, maybe he's drinking. When you see this and your mind interprets it, it's a way of conditioning.
Okay.
It slowly conditions the mind, and it builds this sort of reliance where you say, okay, so if dad does this, then I can do it too, because it's okay. And,
I think I'm going to send you up to be health minister next time instead of tourism minister. But I want to thank you girls for coming, Talicia, Victory, and Haley. I want to thank their teacher as well from Graydon Seeley and the other teachers who were with us. And I want to say to you young ladies, keep doing what you're doing, keep presenting yourselves well, and keep being ambassadors not just for your school, but for yourselves. Have an awesome day at school.
Thank you.
And we want to thank them. Young ladies all doing well. That's not to say we aren't proud of our boys too. Being a boy mom, extremely proud of them, especially when they get the courage to come out and speak out and try to be a part of the change. And that's what we want to do today. But we're going to get a chance to talk to more positive young people. So we're going to take a break and be back with you.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, I'm happy to know that while you were planning for that vacation, you did not take a staycation from me. So we're happy that you're still with us. We want to welcome the Ministry of Youth here with us this morning. We're going to be talking about their youth mentorship program, Project Protege. Yes, with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Development. I want to welcome this morning Mr. Naeem Johnson, who is the Youth Program Consultant. Kashira Corbin, who's also a consultant with that ministry, and Mr. Asher Jones-Clark, who is a Sagicor advisor and a mentor with the Youth Community Empowerment Mentorship Program, Project Protege. Now, we are going to begin with you, Naeem.
Yes,
what really is Project Protege?
All right, so blessed good morning to Barbados. What is Project Protege? Project Protege is an initiative that was created by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, which aims to mentor young individuals between the ages of 13 and 17 by knowledgeable and experienced mentors. Right? Once this pairing is done, our aim is to facilitate relationship building and to give guidance to the youth so we can make a better community.
Okay. Naeem spoke to pairing, Kashira, but how do you select who goes with whom? And suppose, say, I wanted to be a mentor, how would I get on board?
Okay, so persons who are interested, as long as they're suitable for the venture, they can, well, we have multiple options. They can actually physically come into the ministry and complete the application forms there. Or you can head over to our Instagram page, which is at DivYouth246. Click on the link in our bio. There is a PDF fillable, downloadable form. You complete the form there, and then you would email it to us at ydp@barbados.gov.bb, and that way we actually receive the forms.
Is there an age restriction for the mentors?
Yes, our mentors are, the age range is basically from around the age of 21 and upwards, so that we can provide the most experienced persons within the mentorship program.
Okay. Now, in terms of you now, Asher, and being a mentor, how did you first find out about this program to be able to engage and offer your services?
Well, I first found out about it because I also facilitate their financial literacy courses. So I'm very connected with the youth ministry. So pretty much they were saying, you know, you're already here, you're experienced, and we know you'll be comfortable, we trust you. So it's an easy fit just from there.
Okay. And have you chosen your mentee already?
Yes, this is my second mentee actually.
Okay.
So the experience so far has been quite diverse. My first mentee would be one who is, you know, more outside, more on the wilder side, while this one is more passive, more reserved. So the experience is very, very on two different spectrums. So it has been very, very interesting and reflective in one, because you see yourself really in both of them, and it's like, I was actually like that when I was much younger.
But life's experiences would have changed things up.
Exactly. So I'm better able now to share my experience with them and kind of change their attitudes.
Okay. Now, Kashira walks us through the whole application process. Let's look now at training, Naeem.
Yeah.
How long, how intense?
Right. So after you have filled out the application process, the next step always you will be training. And before you even actually get into training, you go through an interview process where you'll be interviewed by management just so you'll be vetted out. Once you've passed that initial process, you go into the training. So this training will include safeguard, childcare, effective communication, effective closure, roles and responsibilities for mentors, because, you know, we want to give them all the information and make sure that they're comfortable, so when they do have these mentees and these young persons, that they are well equipped to handle. So once that process is done after the training, then we will go in now to the pairing process, where we pair both the mentor and the mentee. And that's where the beautiful relationship will start.
Let me backtrack a bit.
No problem.
This interview.
Yes, please.
What would discount me from eligibility? What are the things we're not looking for?
All right. What I will say is that you have to have a heart for young persons, right? You have to have passion behind it, because we want to make sure that young and the older mentors, that they understand that this is a serious responsibility. You know, you're putting the youth at risk. We're helping the young person that may be going through a challenge in life, you know, not just behavioral challenges, but you want mentorship in terms of career or life or goals, aspirations. So we have to ensure that you are really committed to the task, because we don't want you to come in to buy into our vision or the program and then, you know, you just give up, because what image will that send to that young individual, you know? So
we're looking for persons here for the long haul.
For the long haul.
Now, Kajira, if I am there for the long haul, how many contact hours am I expected to have with my mentee? Am I expected to take them out on exploratory activities? What are my main roles and responsibilities?
Okay, so in being a mentor, we ask that you are able to commit to basically, well, a minimum of 4 hours, contact hours, weekly, because in reality, some of the mentees may be a little reserved, but in the contact hours, it will give you the opportunity to establish a strong relationship with your mentee, for whom you're going to have to bear responsibility in terms of the provision of the communication and stuff like that. So essentially, we want to say a minimum of 4 contact hours weekly for the mentors. Ask them to commit to that.
Now, Asher, you, I guess, would have been, your previous mentee would have been part of cohort 1. You said there were some things that, you know, you saw, you were happy, some change, but in terms of reviewing it and introspecting on what happened then, are there things that you're going to change now in engaging this new mentee?
Firstly, yes, because they're 2 different individuals. So I have to kind of adapt to this one's new personality, get to know him. And because it's relatively new, we're still in the trust building stage. One of the things that I would say I'm doing for myself is kind of doing a review, going back home and taking time to review some notes I've taken, because it's easy to forget, you know, with everything happening, busy schedule, and you really want to show them that you care. So just the little things is what really was really important, and important for them as well too, especially when you come back now and review together, right?
Okay. Now, in terms of the 2 of you, how did you find cohort 1?
Cohort 1, to me, I would say was a success. To add to what Asher was saying, we had some activities which I believe would have blossomed relationships, and we still have active alliances going on. We've heard success stories in terms of persons that were reserved, not willing to be more vocal. We heard some with behavioral challenges at home with their parents. The parents now saying that they've seen a change, son or daughter. And through these activities, we've had partnerships with like the disability unit. We've done outreach movies. We've done visits to Harrison's Cave. You know, so many people haven't went to Harrison Cave. It's a shocking small little Barbados, but they've learned and they've blossomed in that. We did activities such like archery, which helped them to hit targets, and then we use that as a life lesson to let them know that in life there are targets that can be hit through guidance and support. So that is just from last cohort 1, but even going into this new cohort 2, we have bigger and better plans in place, and we're just so excited for the new upcoming mentees that will be would get benefit from such
cohort
a program.
2. So I wish you all well.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure they're happy to have you come on board again, and we wish you all the best of luck for the new protege program. Now remember, folks, today is Thursday. Yes, so that is the Q day. Yes, so go on out, Garfield Sobers Complex, and enjoy Q. The Q bus will be there, ready to get you where you need to be. So don't forget that Q will be out and about, and we will be having a great time at Q. Also remember that as we go to Q, we're getting ready for the sister station to celebrate the birthday on the 23rd. So keep that in mind. And tomorrow, yes, we're going to have a great day tomorrow. We'll talk about the Q radio show. on our Pulse radio show, again on Q, and we'll have some more information about St. Peter. It's going to be a good morning. So you'll be back with Morning Barbados tomorrow. It was fun being with you this Thursday morning. I'm Wendy Burke, and have a terrific Thursday.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good